Hi, everyone. This is Mike from Choosing Love Today, and welcome back to Enduring Faith. We've been walking through Paul's letter to the Romans together, and each day we've been taking one small piece of truth and carrying it into real life. Today I want to talk about something Paul touches on frequently, and that's something every one of us feels at some point, and that's loneliness in our faith. And to help us see it clearly, I want to walk with Elijah for just a moment. Elijah is one of those figures we tend to picture as bold, fearless, powerful, calling down fire from heaven, standing toe to toe with kings, confronting entire nations. But tucked away right in the middle of his story is a moment that feels a lot more like us. After one of his greatest victories, Elijah crashes emotionally, spiritually, and physically. In 1 Kings chapter 19, Elijah runs into the wilderness, sits under a juniper tree and says, "I've had enough." That doesn't sound like much of a superhero, does it? He's just being a human being who feels alone. And get this, Elijah wasn't alone, but he felt alone. After that feeling was heavy enough to make him want to quit. Paul talks about this in Romans when he reminds believers that the Spirit intercedes for us when we don't even have the words. That's God's way of saying, you're not carrying this by yourself. You're not walking alone, even when it feels like you are. Elijah needed to be reminded, and honestly, so do we. Because faith can get lonely, not because God leaves us, He doesn't, but because life gets loud. People get busy, and sometimes the path God calls us to walk doesn't look like anybody else's. So here's what God does for Elijah, and what He still does for us. He meets Elijah in the quiet, not in the wind, not in the earthquake, not in the fire, but in a gentle whisper. A whisper is personal. A whisper is close. A whisper means God wasn't far away. Elijah just needed to slow down to hear Him. And maybe that's where you are today. Maybe you're doing the right things, trusting God, trying to stay faithful. But you feel alone in it. You feel unseen. You feel like you're carrying something nobody else understands. If that's you, let me give you something simple, something Elijah teaches us. Loneliness in faith is not a sign of failure. It's a place where God speaks softly. Elijah didn't get a pep talk. He didn't get a lecture. He didn't get a list of things to fix. He got presence. He got rest. He got direction for the next step. Not the whole journey, and that's how God still works. But you have to take time for Him daily to listen. If you can't take time daily for Him first thing in the morning, then you're too busy. I'm not saying 20 or 30 minutes, but long enough to clear your head. Be truly thankful and sit back and just listen. Give God a chance. You never know what thoughts may enter your mind. Then as you move through your day, if faith feels lonely, don't panic. Don't assume something's wrong. God is not worried about your tomorrow, or anything else for that matter. But He's certainly not concerned about your yesterday, but He will take care of your needs for today. So don't think God has stepped back. He may be closer than you think. He may be whispering. He may be giving you just enough strength for today. And that's endurance. And that's what you need. So thanks for listening to Enduring Faith. Keep choosing love today.